Okay, dear people, um, thank you, Richard and your colleagues, for inviting me and for your active moderation today. I followed the session most of the time and I apologized if I missed something. I really thank all speakers for their input. As usual, I learned a lot today. I combined remarks in different sessions to the following categories, if you like. Items, conclusions, and recommendations from my side. And I will start with something that bothered me throughout the day a little bit. Political will. Yes, my friends. But dear local groups, it is you who decides the political will. Inform yourself on the topics that are important, water, climate change impact, etc. And what politicians say about it. Do not go for nice ad hoc speeches, but for their voting records and actions after the last elections. Civil society and NGOs do not complain when you're not speaking yourself, but support beforehand who are able to speak. If you mean gender considerations, say so. If you mean women, say so. I was a bit disturbed about comments on not enough input from women. Actively go and talk to them, formal or informally, in any case. Show them they can do it, even if they have been told they cannot, and assist them to learn to speak up. Respect and acknowledge local actions. Challenge the governments and donors because they want to go to scale. Well, I tell you, 100 local actions will get the job done, not one big project that hardly anybody can manage. 30% of the available money is not used because there's not a bankable project in the funders' minds. They avoid all risk, they think, and procedures are undoable. So money is not reaching the local project, and so the funders have to change the process and the procedures because their intentions are okay, but the implementation is not. Multilateral conversations are needed to set the tone, to inspire national and local policies. Multilateral conversations are not about liking, not about national interest and condemning other opinions. It's about solving, cooperation, find common ground, exchange. And just a small idea, put gender budgeting or something like that into there and commit what you can really do and do it. And yes, the role of non-state actors in multilateral conversations has to be enhanced and more structurally embedded. Migration. Wow. We women call it the domino effect of climate change and water. Or, as some of the other speakers said, the cascading effect. There are excellent reports from UNESCO WE&B and Women for Water on how to address this. Recognize climate and water stress as reason for internal displacement and migration. So change the criteria. And happy to send you the ideas around the domino effect. There was a very small item on sand mining, although it was called differently. But sand mining is a serious problem for displacement, violence, and especially for women who address the issue. Violence in water. At mega level, yeah, we go and destroy the infrastructure as a weapon for war. to stop support from citizens, and, new contracts for builders. At individual level, sextortion, high prices for local vendors is mainly aimed at women because they are the ones who are coming to collect the water or who are in their homes and would like good service. We need to do something about that urgently. There was a small item on standards and regulations. I truly believe they can help because it's common language. Let's support that and ask governments to adopt those standards and regulations because they can help to actually better the way we're doing things. Disaster. Early warning is fine. However, it also needs to be done by not ICT ways and accompanied by guidance of alternatives, because just telling people to run, where are they going to run to? And especially, again, that will affect the women and the children. In the PR sphere, let's stop mentioning billions. It is discouraging because we will think we can't do anything about that. Say what it means in terms of numbers at a local level so people understand and can figure out what they can do. So, on a very rich day, I conclude that nothing can be done without water and sanitation. No electricity, no health, no education, nothing. And dear people, thank you all for your commitment. And let's keep going and make it as practical and concrete as we can. Handing back over to you.
Thank you, LESHA. I think your conclusions for the day mirror very, very tightly mine as well. I think first and foremost is to give thanks to Eurocat, to the government of Catalonia for really supporting this initiative, Cassandra. I think there are such few initiatives like this one that are giving voices to people that maybe previously haven't had the voice, or as today we've heard, haven't had the seat at the table. And this initiative is providing that that opportunity for them and for their voices to be heard. As we first started within today, and the same as you, LESHA, I followed the day and with a lot of interest, and I think our emotions as well got a chance to be played with throughout today. You know, there was definitely during one of the sessions that it all got very depressing, very dark
Agreed. Yeah.
in one particular moment. In fact, there was even a comment that came forward that said, "What is wrong with us? What are we doing wrong?" And then that was soon followed up by a session that was very upbeat and positive, and then we could see exactly what was happening at local level, and I think this is where Cassandra needs to be applauded, because it is saying the things that many people maybe don't want to say or can't say, or have had the fear to say for some time. Exactly those types of sentences. What are we doing wrong? Where have we failed? Which institutions should be stepping up and filling voids that they have previously not managed to fill? The high salaries at certain UN institutions was mentioned more than once today, and the lack of funding at local level. So those mismatches and those disparities again was something that is highlighted by an initiative that is calling out a number of these things that maybe previously people are afraid to call out because they have political alliances, or at least alliances to different entities or economic interests, where Cassandra as such doesn't have. So this is very unique and a fantastic opportunity for these voices to be heard. So when when I look at these sort of questions like what is wrong with us, what have we done wrong, etc., and then we start to look at some of these answers, and we see that actually we haven't done a lot wrong. It's just, I think we, as one of the speakers said today, we've been maybe too theoretical and haven't had enough in the practical sense. And when we start to look at those practical sense, when we went into the second or third session of the day and we started to hear from those local climate forums, those that are really doing the work on the ground, then we start to see what we're actually doing in the practical sense. You know, we heard from Beth in the Mara Basin about a personal story of hers that allowed her to act and make a change, and that change has allowed for many other people to change their own attitudes. We heard a lot about mental issues that have been challenging all of those that are facing those climate realities in those areas, and the leaders of these climate forums standing up and making a change, not only to the economic differences within those communities, but also to the mental challenges that they are facing. Denise has told us all about the lack of access to water, but what she's doing in order to make changes within her own community. You know, Richard from the Coombe Green Solutions was also telling us about how he was involved in crime, and he had seen the loss of many of his own friends and colleagues. But it was those experiences, those lived experiences, that allowed him to make a change and to stand up and to say, hang on, there's something better and different that we can do here. And we can make that change in this environment, in the community where we live. And by making that change, many other people are following his example and doing what he's doing, moving out of a life of crime and into preserving and protecting the environment in which they live to make conditions better, so that their own families and their children can be better supported by the environment that they're living within. Because that is one of the key things that we've seen today, that whatever we're seeing in terms of climate change, whatever changes that we see in the environment, that is affecting cultural practices, cultural beliefs, and cultural realities, that is affecting young women, girls, and boys that are living within these communities. That is affecting how people are moving across borders, and it is affecting very really these mental challenges that people are facing. One of the key points that was mentioned today that maybe you've never come across before, but was this idea of sexploitation. The idea that sex is used as a weapon in order for people just to get the basic needs of access to water, food, or electricity. And this is something that even here in Europe is something that is being used as a lever in order for people to get what they want out of a particular situation. But there are many of these encouraging stories of how these individuals from these local climate forums are making that change and reversing a lot of these actions that have taken hold in a lot of these communities. And so this is really, in a sense, a call to action for those that are sitting within your own communities. You've been a product of some of these violence acts, a product of some of these inequalities, to have that ability to stand up and to create an initiative, a small initiative, a little stone's throw into a pebble makes a ripple effect that can change an entire community and can make that positive change within not only environment, but within a larger spectrum, regards to economy, regards to culture, and regards to mental health. I think it's been a rich day, a day that, as I said, played a lot with our emotions, but I think we've all been fortunate to hear these stories. But tomorrow there's going to be more. So the second day of the conference.
Before you say that,
Carry on, Lesha, please.
no, I just wanted to add two things. One is sextortion is not new. It's been there forever, unfortunately. And there are a lot of women's organizations, for instance, in Kenya, who have been, and in the Netherlands, who've been working on this for a long time. So more support would really be welcome. That's my first one. And the second one is sort of a concluding one because we're all sort of complaining. But this is not a quote from me, from somebody else, another very wise person. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring your own chair. So let's figure out how to bring our own chair to the table. Back to you.
Yeah, I think that's totally a good one. And there's a couple of good quotes coming out from today, because in fact, this one leads on from what else was said today. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So rather than be on the menu, bring your own chair, and
Exactly.
and then you can be part of those conversations. Yeah, thank you, Lisha. I think we've got a lot more to discuss, and we can probably go on for a while. But I know it's been a long day,
Absolutely.
and we let everybody have a moment to take a break to digest exactly what has happened throughout to today, and then come back tomorrow with renewed interest and focus, because our focus then turns to science and how science can move into action and to start to scale impact. Really, the day tomorrow is going to be exploring how science and technology, and especially those expertise in those areas, can be mobilized through different initiatives. And in Cassandra, these are called the science embassies, where they try to deliver tangible solutions on the ground while reflecting on the growing social political awareness of science and its role in society. Discussions towards the middle of the day will look ahead to examining the Cassandra program, how it can be expanded to new regions, including India, Southeast Asia, the Americas. They can build on these experiences that we've heard about today, and we'll start to hear about tomorrow. Finally, the day tomorrow will conclude with a high-level dialogue on climate, water, and gender, as we've discussed a lot today, where it'll highlight the transformative leadership and pathways towards a just transition. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'll be there in person at the final event tomorrow. If you're in Barcelona, if you're in the Catalonia area, I invite you to come and join that session. It'll be an in-person session, but of course also available online. With that, I say thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Eurocat and to everybody that's put this together. It's been a fantastic first day, and we look forward to tomorrow. Thank you and goodbye.